My name is Dr. Kedrick James. I specialize in the curriculum of secondary English language arts education, and I look at literacy very broadly. In particular, I take digital literacy as a way of looking forward into where our practices of communicating are taking us. So one of my roles at the university here and in the Department of Language and Literacy Education is the director of the Digital Literacy Center, where we sort of take that idea of language arts and we look at language from an arts-based research perspective. So we explore the possibilities of new technologies and how those are influencing the way we communicate, particularly the way we communicate through symbols. So we take a semiotic approach, look at different impacts that new technologies have on the way that we communicate. For example, the way language has been automated. So we will study voice recognition system, text recognition systems. We work on a large-scale project right now called the Phone Me Project, which is about a social media network for spoken word poetry, in which we're innovating a new phone-native genre for poetry. So we look at ways that we can outreach to people. I think a lot of the work is focused on schools. I place a lot of my work here is in teacher education. So I look very closely at ways that we can help teachers to bridge the gaps between generations, which are changing, which are broadening because of the rate of technology investing in our own social communicative environments. So on one hand, I look at how teachers can be more responsive and work with technologies and also the concerns that they would have doing so. And on the other hand, a lot of experimentation. Great interventional kinds of research practices, a lot of arts-based work that a lot of the grad students I work with are arts-focused, meaning, like me, they might come to it as writers. I come to this profession as a poet, a teacher, and a scholar. Those are kind of my housing of my intellectual activities. I get very involved in something called procedural poetics, in the way that we produce language as a kind of processing of a signal. And so a lot of the time, my experimentations manifest as performance or as print texts that are the result of specific processes in which we glitch the system so that we can see how the system is actually informing, shaping, and controlling expression. This allows us to get out of just studying the normative and trying to establish what common usage means. It allows us to look at the things that shape common usage. Typically, those have been social and/or cultural constraints. And I think myself, along with my colleagues in the Department of Language and Literacy, think of ourselves as sociocultural analysts of language and literacy. But when we enter a technological realm, those processes that shape and control expression and communication shift, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. So by glitching and intervening in those processes through a poetic framework, we actually come to understand a much deeper level of what is shaping our communicative practice.